Hey guys, let's get more news about Warriors, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Golden State Warriors shockingly consider one young player an untouchable. Even though there are many across the league that believe the Golden State Warriors should be open to a rebuilding or retooling of their roster, it doesn't appear that that will entirely happen this offseason. The Warriors could end up making a small move or two, but at least for now, it seems as if this is a team that fully intends on heading into the offseason with the intention of keeping their championship window open for this core. Of course, that can change at any given moment. But at least for now, there isn't an expectation that big changes are on the horizon for the Warriors. Adding to that stance, it also seems like the Warriors have quickly shifted their mood on one of their polarizing young players. According to a recent report, the Warriors now consider Jonathan Kuminga as an untouchable asset on the roster. This is a stark change over the past year. It wasn't too long ago when it was believed that the Warriors would be willing to trade Kuminga to upgrade the roster around Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green. That doesn't appear to be the case anymore. Instead, the Warriors may view Kuminga as a key part of the team's core now. In his third season with the Warriors, Kuminga made quite the jump. In 74 games played this season, Kuminga averaged 16 points and 5 rebounds on 53% shooting from the field and 32% shooting from three-point range. Perhaps most importantly, there were signs that Kuminga could be a full-time starter for the Warriors moving forward. As the team prepares to reshuffle, if the Warriors do end up making a splash move, it doesn't appear as if Kuminga is going to be part of those changes. If anything, Golden State is likely going to make a roster upgrade while keeping Kuminga in mind. And with the way he played this season in spurts, it's no surprise that Kuminga has emerged as an untouchable piece for the Warriors. The big question for Kuminga and the Warriors is whether he has another developmental step in the future. If so, perhaps the Warriors will be validated in their high praise and standing of Kuminga. Looking back at long road traveled by Warriors' 2024 first-round pick. The NBA draft every year quickly goes from projecting hope for a handful of franchises to others wondering what if soon thereafter. Teams take plenty of different paths to reach the top of the draft, find themselves further in the lottery or at the end of the first round. For the Warriors' original 2024 first-round pick, it wasn't so much the road less traveled but one that has spanned the country. Starting on the West Coast, the pick then made a 4-year stop in the South, took a quick look at the East Coast and finally landed in the Pacific Northwest, to the Portland Trail Blazers at number 14 overall after Sunday's NBA Draft Lottery. The selection was top 4 protected, meaning the Warriors would have retained their pick if it were to land among the top 4. The pick had a 0.7% chance of going back to the Warriors instead of being conveyed to the Blazers. Let's start with the summer of 2019 to map out the long road taken by the number 14 pick in the 2024 NBA Draft, originally owned by Golden State. Within a half hour of the Warriors completing a sign-and trade between them and the Nets to acquire D'Angelo Russell with Kevin Durant choosing Brooklyn in free agency, then general manager Bob Myers sent Andre Iguodala to the Memphis Grizzlies as part of a salary dump. The Warriors' 2024 first-round pick, top 4 protected, also was part of the trade, and would have become a number 1 protected 2025 first-round pick and then an unprotected 2026 first-round pick if it didn't convey to Portland this year or next. That completed the pick's first move, prior to buying moving boxes years later. It got settled into a Memphis lifestyle and probably became a late-night regular at Blue City Cafe the next 4 years. Until a plane ticket was purchased and Memphis barbecue was swapped for clam chowder, lobster rolls, and a pint of Guinness, for a little more than 3 months. The Grizzlies finally used the Warriors' original pick to help them acquire 2021-22 NBA Defensive Player of the Year Marcus Smart from the Boston Celtics this past June, as part of a 3-team deal that saw the Celtics add Kristaps Porzingis from the Washington Wizards, a 7'2" former heralded prospect who helped unleash the best of Boston this season. The pick settled in Beantown for all of 100 days before a countrywide flight from Boston to Portland. For days after Damian Lillard's offseason of trade drama landed him on the Milwaukee Bucks as part of a three-team deal that also sent Drew Holiday from the Bucks to Lillard's previous team in Portland, the Celtics then used the Warriors' 2024 first-round pick to help them land Holiday from the Blazers. So to recap, the Warriors' 2024 first-round pick helped the Grizzlies get smart, as well as the Celtics bringing both Porzingis and Holiday aboard. But it also played a role in the Warriors giving Andrew Wiggins a new home. Though the plan probably always was to eventually flip Russell instead of building a three-guard trio of him, Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, Myers wasn't going to lose Durant for nothing. Russell signed a 4-year, $117 million contract upon the Warriors' sign-in trade, making Iguodala's salary dump a must. The Warriors then traded Russell after he played only 33 games for them to the Minnesota Timberwolves for Wiggins and a draft pick that turned into Jonathan Kuminga in 2021. Whatever Wiggins' future with the Warriors holds next, he'll always have his championship ring, a piece of hardware his teammates, coaches, and fans know he deserves a major thank you for. After years of taking a route that went this way and that, the pick officially is in Portland 5.5 weeks ahead of the draft. It already contributed to one championship in the Bay Area, and maybe Boston will reap the rewards this time around. Why NBA execs view Pelicans' Ingram as likely Warriors trade target? It's no secret the Warriors need to make a splash this offseason, but who could they target? New Orleans Pelicans forward Brandon Ingram is on the radar of some around the NBA, according to Sean Devaney of Heavy Sports, hat tip inside the Warriors. For what the Warriors are going to be looking for, Ingram is the kind of guy they will be in the market for, because he is a player who can score but is a little bit damaged goods and maybe the price is lower than it ought to be, an anonymous Western Conference executive told Devaney. But you keep him healthy, you're careful with him, and he can carry you through. He is still young, 26, and that is absolutely what they want. He is a wild card. But we saw him, he played 30 minutes against Washington and put up 40 points. He did that twice. When he is right, he is a devastating scorer. That's exactly what Golden State needs alongside star point guard Steph Curry, who didn't receive much support in the scoring department during the 2023-24 NBA season. Ingram averaged 20.8 points on 49.2% shooting this past regular season with New Orleans, along with 5.1 rebounds and 5.7 assists in 32.9 minutes per game. The 2020 NBA Most Improved Player has struggled to stay healthy, however, appearing in 225 out of the Pelicans' last 318 games and actually seeing his numbers dip from a career-high 24.7 points per game last season. But at 6'8" with plenty of versatility, Ingram could slide right into Warriors coach Steve Kerr's system as an additional scoring threat, with Klay Thompson's future in the Bay uncertain and Andrew Wiggins coming off another down year. You can play him at the 4, he can switch a lot, he can play the 3 or the 2, an anonymous Eastern Conference GM told Devaney of Ingram. He has become a very good playmaker, too. That is the kind of versatility Steve loves to have. You might question his toughness, but put him next to Draymond Green and that will change. New Orleans is not sure it wants to pay him. So, there are a lot of teams with an eye on him. There are probably 10 to 12 teams with their eyes on him in case he comes available, monitoring him, however you want to put it. Could the Warriors be one of those teams? Devaney posited a Chris Paul, Moses Moody and future first-round pick trade package for Ingram, or a deal centered around Wiggins and Moody. Ingram is under contract for the 2024-25 season for $36 million, the final campaign of a 5-year contract extension he signed in 2020. While the 26-year-old is due for a lucrative extension, it certainly could be a gamble the Warriors are willing to take. And you fan? What do you think of the situation of Brandon Ingram? Leave your opinion in the comments.